Hope everyone's been enjoying the World Series. I'm getting this up a little late today. Um, my Nationals have been struggling a little bit, but hopefully they'll get it together here in the next couple games. It's kind of weird that the road team has won all 5 games so far, but it did happen in 1996. But the Yankees ended up being the first team to win a home game in that series and defeated the Braves in 6. So the precedent doesn't look good for the Nationals, but in 2016, the Cubs were down 3-2, heading on the road to Kansas City, and won both on the road to come back and win that World Series. So the precedent's there for that part at least, but everything's up in the air. Who knows what'll happen? I'll give you kind of my predictions for Game 6 at the end of this video. As you can see, Topps Now. I usually don't buy Topps Now stuff, but I did want a specific card as a Nationals fan. These are these are only available for 24 hours on the Topps Now website. But I got right here. Let me see if I can get it to focus in for you. NLCS Washington Nationals advanced to first World Series in club history with 7-4 win over Cardinals. I just really wanted that card to kind of showcase the first World Series the Nationals have been to. My wife and I received an incredible gift and actually got to attend Game 4 of the World Series, which for a Nationals fan was awesome. And if you've been watching some of my previous videos, it was a really nice break to kind of forget about the job hunt and what happened in the previous week. So it was awesome to be there, even though it didn't go the Nationals' way. There's a little bit of information on it for you. But I was really happy to get that card. It was an awesome experience at the World Series. I will say, for those of you that haven't been to a World Series before, I feel like it wasn't as loud as some other playoff games, because in our section alone, there were a lot of people who went to the World Series just to say they had been to the World Series. So there was people wearing other jerseys, hockey jerseys. The guy sitting next to my wife didn't pay attention to the game at all. He stared at his phone the whole time. So it would have been better being surrounded by just fans, but I understand people wanting to experience it. So now, heading into Game 6, what I think are going to be some keys to the game. First, for the Astros, as they head home, here's an Alex Bregman. This is 2010 Topps. This is autographed by Bregman from the USA set, the 16 and under team. One key is for him to get locked in at home. There were a few guys who weren't hitting very well at home. He started hitting a little better in Nationals Park. Did have the grand slam in Game 4, but it's still batting about 222 for the series. If the Astros want to finish off the Nationals in 6, he's going to have to get it going. Also, Robinson Chirinos, and this is a pro debut from, I believe, is it 2011. So Robinson Chirinos caught Justin Verlander last time. He called a pretty decent game, but the Nationals were laying off some of Verlander's good pitches. Chirinos is going to have to call another good game. He's really going to have to slow down the Nationals on the base paths, because I do expect him to run if they get on base. And he's going to have to provide something with the bat, like he did when he homered in Games 3 and Game 4. Now for the National side, it starts with the table setter, Trey Turner. This is from 2017 Holiday, signed by Trey. And Trey basically has to get on base. The team goes the way Trey does. So if Trey's successful and he can get on base, he'll be able to steal on the Astros, get the line moving a little bit with Rendon and Soto coming up. Soto has been really hot. Rendon not so much. but he hasn't struck out much, and he has put the ball in play hard, which, if there's a runner on base, could provide RBI opportunities. The Nationals need to attack early and try and take the crowd out of it, especially after the Astros seize momentum in DC. And lastly, Sean Doolittle. Doolittle's going to be instrumental, especially after Daniel Hudson gave up 3 runs in Game 5. Doolittle has been the most consistent out of the bullpen, and he's going to be called upon in Game 6, potentially Game 7 as well, if they get to Game 7. Strasburg, the longest he's made it in a playoff outing has been 7 innings, and I expect the Astros to try and force him to throw a lot of pitches and try and get him out as early as they can. So I expect the Nationals to have to get at least 2, maybe 3 innings out of the bullpen, and I expect at least one of those innings to go through Doolittle. I think he's going to have to be sharp and really locate the ball well to keep these Astros hitters off balance, and hope the umpires are actually seeing the ball. The calls have not been really good the past couple games. It seems like it's been more in the Astros' favor, but some calls have gone against the Astros too. I really just don't see how they assembled this crew for the World Series, because they really seem to be struggling. So, as a Nationals fan, I think out of any pitcher you would want to throw in Game 6, Strasburg's the pick. When you look at his playoff numbers, he's 4-0 in the playoffs this year, 40 strikeouts, just 2 walks, and in his career, he has been incredible. He's faced 3 elimination games in the playoffs, and he's 3-0. So the Astros are good. I think they're the more talented team, and they're back home with a lot of momentum. But if the Nationals are going to throw anybody, as a Nationals fan, you want it to be Strasburg. So my pick for tomorrow is going to be 3-2 Nationals. I think the Nationals are going to force a Game 7. And personally, as a Nationals fan, of course, I want them to force a Game 7. I think as a baseball fan, everyone should want a Game 7, just because there's so many narratives to come out of it. Max Scherzer's injury, will he try and get it done? Game 7s, the pressure's on both teams, winner take all. Just a lot of excitement. It's almost like the wild card game, but ramped up 100 times. So that's what I'm really hoping for. I'm calling 3-2 Nationals in Game 6, and then we'll see what happens in Game 7. A lot will depend on if Scherzer can pitch that game. So I'd love to hear your prediction for the game. If you want to put it in the comments below, I'd love to hear it. Happy collecting, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit of my autograph collection here. I'm going to try and feature it a little bit more moving forward, and I'm really glad I get to share it with you.